Ken, nice to see you.
Hi, Shalan. Nice to see you too. It's been a long, long time.
It's been a few minutes since we were in rehearsals.
Yeah, at least 10. Yes.
All right, well, nice to be here. So I guess we have to ask each other some questions.
I understand. Yes. For our viewing audience, we have been supplied with questions that we have not read yet because we are honorable people and we kept our promise. And so I have some questions for you, and you have some questions for me. And we're going to get to these questions and we're going to be brilliant. Do you want to start with your first question?
Okay, so I ask you the first question. That would be great. We could
Why
put you
not?
in the
Let's
hot
do
seat
that.
first. Okay,
I'll
well,
look
first
bad
of all,
first.
yeah, let's make sure everybody knows. So you are the director of Koqm. So thank you very much, Ken Schwartz, for
Thank you.
agreeing to work with me again.
Thank you. Yes, it's a trial, but somebody has to.
Yes. So let's pick the first question. Okay.
Great.
So what are your feelings
Oh,
about
that's already a bad question, but okay, carry on.
revisiting this play with me?
Well, I'm really excited to revisit this play. First of all, we don't often necessarily in the Canadian theater get to revisit anything, even things that are really successful and audiences love and artists love to work on. Sometimes, for a whole host of strange reasons, we don't get a chance to actually revisit. So we create a lot of work and we produce a lot of works once, but we don't necessarily get to use the things that we learn to come back and to make it an even better thing. So
Mhm.
I'm
So you're
I'm
saying you're excited?
yes, I am. I am excited.
Okay.
I am excited because it is a really to come back into a rehearsal period, which we did yesterday, and to know that you're building on weeks of work that you've done before. In this case, we were in rehearsals about, I guess, 5-6 months ago. That's something that doesn't happen certainly to me all that often.
Mhm.
So yeah, I feel terrific about it.
Great. Thank
So
you.
it's my
Okay.
turn now. So now I
All
get to
right.
ask
Your
the second
turn.
question. Are
Okay.
you
Go for
ready?
it.
All right. Could you speak? Oh, here we go. Could you speak a little bit about what inspired you? What led you to write Koqm in the first place?
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, it was because of reading some really old, weird colonial documents written by white male European explorers and missionaries uh, and anthropologists. And I really felt like it was just missing, like I couldn't really hear or imagine Olnu, Mi'kmaq women in like all these descriptions of Mi'kmaq life. And sometimes there was a little bit of detail about what women were up to, but I just knew that it was through all of these lenses. And I just felt like I wanted to hear more of our stories and imagining their lives, the Mi'kmaq women's lives, but also what got them through some very painful or challenging centuries. And so I wanted to imagine that myself and embody that myself and share that with others in the audience. Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay. Are you ready for your next question?
Yeah, probably not, but do it anyway.
Okay. What parts of the story resonate with you the most personally, and why?
Wow. Okay.
Sorry,
Well,
after what I just said, this is
yeah, this is
okay.
something
Go
that
for it.
we haven't talked about. Wow. There's a that's a hard one, but I think the youngest characters in the play really resonate with me the most because they remind me of young people today, and the things that they're fighting for and the hope that they have for the future and all the obstacles that they're facing. There's something about sometimes the optimism and the courage that youth have, in the sense that they haven't necessarily lived long enough to become jaded. That they have a but it's something to be so admired. That optimism that things can be changed and will be changed. And there's more than one character, I think, in the play that reminds me of that, especially one, but there are two, quite young characters who are just in some ways like optimistic, even though they might not have all the reasons to be optimistic, but they're finding them,
Mhm.
and the courage to find optimism in situations which are so difficult. And I really identify with those characters in the play, and I find it instructive, in the same way that I find other young people instructive, where I might
Mhm.
not be so hopeful about things, and I look at people much younger than me, and I go, "Wow, I have to get some of that. I
Mhm.
want what they're having because we can all learn from that, that
Mhm.
reacquaint ourselves with that kind of optimism." So
Mhm.
thank you for that, because that's your play. Oh, now it's my turn.
Now
It's my
that's great, but I just want to make sure that I heard you. So what you identify with the most is the young people.
I think so. Yeah, because
Great.
I secretly want to be a young person.
Sounds
No, but
good.
I really do. I really do. They really. And because I think the play is a really forward-looking play,
Mhm.
and those young people are the people who are going to, they're going to make a difference. I think
Mhm.
in a really big way. Okay, my turn. All right, which one am I going to go to now? I like this one. All right.
Oh no.
What are the best and worst parts of being both the writer and performer of your own solo show? Excellent question. Can't wait for the answer.
Okay. The best part is that I know what I mean always, as the performer, as the performer, I know what the writer meant.
Yes.
So that's the best part. So as an oral storyteller, those two things are, woven together, they're combined. You have a story and you want to share the story. So that's the best thing. The challenging thing is that there's sometimes like when we're in rehearsal or this dramaturgy mode, and I'm trying to like be a better actor, but yet, writer in me is trying to
Mhm.
get the proper grammar or something, or I'm trying to answer your question of why the writer in me meant this or that. But
Mm.
I'm trying to learn, from you about like how to, about this acting. And it's a lot. Then it becomes like a lot. So it also means that I edit every night. Like I can, while we're in rehearsals, right?
Yeah.
So it's that I'm not memorizing lines, it's that I'm editing. I'm like, well, how can I make this even better? So it
Yeah.
just feels like just a lot of work sometimes, like more work. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Isn't there an advantage though sometimes that you can take inspiration from what you discover on stage as well? Because
Oh,
I've
yeah,
watched you,
that's right. Right.
I've watched you improvise
Mm,
within your monologues on stage in ways where
right.
you're discovering it as you go, and
Yeah, yeah,
there's an ease to that. You don't have to ask anybody's permission, and
right.
you're not offending anybody by going, well, what if I go this direction? And
Yeah, because that's the storyteller in me,
yeah,
right? Like you're up
yeah,
on stage, you're changing it a little bit to feel, well, does this work better? As
yeah,
an oral storyteller, that's the way that, you do it, and you edit
yeah.
by performing it over and over, sharing the story over and over, then you edit. But yeah. Okay, are you ready for your next question?
As I ever will be. Yes.
Mhm. Um, what's exciting to you? Okay, so these questions have come from Neptune. Okay, so what's exciting to you about getting to do this show at Neptune?
Oh, that's interesting. Well, actually, I can answer that.
Okay.
So I was born and raised in Halifax, um, and I did for a little while I lived in Montreal for 4 years and Ireland for a year, but for most of my life, I've lived in Nova Scotia, and being born and raised in Halifax, and being a very early enthusiastic participant in theater. Of course, Neptune is has been since I was maybe even since I was born or shortly thereafter, been the place that you would like to have a chance to work. And when I was a very young man, I in the 80s, I worked as an actor on the main stage at Neptune. But as a director, and a director is really the one of the main things that I do in the theater. I've never had a chance to direct at Neptune on the main stage, so this is kind of actually a big thing for me. More than 30 years into my career, I finally got that chance. Uh,
Mhm.
Apparently, Jeremy's gone through everybody, and then I'm the last one that's left, basically standing. So, but no, but in all honesty, it's a really lovely thing, and I'm very proud and grateful to do it.
Sounds great.
Oh yeah, it's my turn now. We're not
Yes.
very good at this, are we? We're not really all that good. Okay. The next one that I would like to ask you is, oh, well, here's a nice one. What's an experience on stage you will never forget? I already think I know what it is, but I don't know if you want to talk about it.
Don't let my secrets out, Ken.
I'm just saying there
I
is
think,
one that I could
oh,
for you to, but you could pick
I
something.
was trying to think of something else. Do you mean the one that happened at King's Theater?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking of.
Kenneth Schwartz.
That's my name. Don't wear it out.
Okay, as long as whoever's listening doesn't tell anybody else.
Yeah, no, it's just between you and I.
Okay. Because yeah, so even as an oral storyteller, you get used to, what the story that you're telling. And I always love to put songs into my work. That's something I've always learned is important, like drum songs. And so for every show, I find a song, like a drum song, especially if it's a simple one, so that I can repeat it, so that the audience gets to learn this song or sing with me by the end. And this is something that I like to do. I did that in El Buldiag, so I chose a song for this one. And so and what you never know as a performer, under those lights on that stage, and it just shocked me this one day, is that I was about to sing the song that we've been rehearsing for 3 weeks, and I performed it the night before, and I forgot the song. Which song was I singing? So I just made up a song, and I could just imagine you laughing at me in the booth.
I'm still laughing. It was so funny.
Oh, so yeah, so but it's such a, just grounding and grounding thing, and a humbling thing to remember that no matter how many times we practice it, is that sometimes we're so in the moment, or all this adrenaline, as a performer on stage, that we can even forget the song that we've been singing, like, for the show.
And amazingly, not one person in the audience would have ever known any different. That's the other fun thing about theater, is that, inside the production, we can all be going, I can't believe that just happened, but nobody in the audience would know that anything different happened. It's fun that
Well,
way.
as long as she is always singing, and so
Yeah.
but then, being, again, it goes back to the, actor and the writer, is that, I
Yeah.
created the concept of the words and the music. So it's like, well, I'll just start improvising. Here we go. But yes, I wish that I had a different story for that, but
That's a pretty good one, though. That made me happy to hear it again.
Mhm. Okay, we probably don't have a lot of time left, but question: what's your next gig?
Oh my goodness, my next
Yeah,
gig.
spill your secrets.
My next gig would be I think very, very shortly after this production opens at Neptune, I'm producing the Merit Awards for Theatre Nova Scotia. And then shortly after that, I'm going to be getting ready to direct 2 productions at 2 Planks and a Passion Theatre in the Valley. So,
Which is no small feat, right? This pandemic has taught us that.
It's no small feat for any of us. Why do we get to know what your next gig is? Since I got to do that, do you get to tell us that? I'm going to ask you that question right back.
Is that on your questions that you were given?
I prove that it's not. Do you, what's your next gig? I want to hear you say the word gig as well. What's your next gig?
I don't even know. I lost track.
Oh yes, that's right. That's right.
Hey, Ken,
am I going to be involved?
Would you direct me for that?
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
So is that also another next gig
that's
for
a
you?
gig. Yeah, that's a gig. We should say where it's going to be. Where is it going to be?
Ship's Company. But please come see it at Neptune.
Oh,
Then after that, also then come to Ship's Theatre Company.
To Ship's Company Theatre in Parsbury. Yeah, that's going to be after our run in Halifax. That's right. So
that really is my next gig.
I think we are at time. So thank you so much for those insightful, moving, entertaining questions.
Yeah, you too. You too.
To whoever gave them to us, I guess, Neptune Theatre. And but we should say, before we let each other go, that Koqm is being performed at Neptune Theatre. And it's running in April, between April 5th and the 17th. And I believe April 5th is a pay what you can. And we are very much looking forward to being there. Aren't
Yes.
we, Shalan?
Yes, we are. I'm looking very forward to it all. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Shalan. I'll see you very, very soon.
See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye.